Good afternoon from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Northampton location, and today I'm very excited to share with you this 2018 Range Rover Velar. This Velar is currently showing just over 58,000 original miles, and if you would like to see a high-resolution detailed photo set, please reference the listing at alphacars.com. There, of course, you will also find a free included Carfax report, alongside a long list of technical data related to the vehicle's remaining tire and brake life, as well as individual readings from each panel using our paint depth gauge. But today I'll be taking you on a quick condition overview around both the interior and the stunning exterior of the Velar, as well as talking about some of the more interesting features. Now, the first thing to mention is this vehicle is absolutely gorgeous. Of course, that's a matter of opinion, but to me, I think the spec, the styling, everything about this car is fantastic. I love it, and I'm shocked I haven't really known about this model in the past. But first things first, looking at the paint condition, you'll see it very nice condition looking into that direct sunlight. Making your way really close to the body here, down the driver's side. No dings, dents, or scratching to mention here. It's all in very, very nice condition. You'll see those door handles currently sitting flush with the body. That's a really cool touch. It just enhances the styling here on the outside quite a bit. Now, of course, another major thing to touch on is the amazing two-tone contrast we have here on the outside of the Velar. You'll see that central band of the vehicle painted in a nice, bright, pure white paint scheme, and then the upper and lowermost portions have a gorgeous piano black finish, and you have some accents that cut right through the center, like your tail lights and some of those vents and the headlights up front. And I think total, when you really step back and check out those photos on the listing, it is absolutely gorgeous. And everywhere we see these lower portions, even though they're painted gloss black, they have maintained a perfect condition, beautiful shine, just like you'd find from the factory. Looking at some of these other accents I mentioned, you'll find a beautiful touch of that bronze color that really ties in well with the rest of the exterior. It's very, very subtle, and we'll see some more of it up in the front, but I absolutely love it. Another thing to note really quick is that our dynamic badge we see just there. That is a package fitted to this particular Velar, and it gives you a couple of enhanced styling cues on both the outside and the inside that we'll touch on as we make our way around. Very quickly, taking a look at these stunning wheels. Beautiful condition in a nice satin gray paint scheme. Absolutely zero curb rash of any kind to mention. All looks very nice. 20-inch wheels, and they look just perfect sitting here on the Velar. They fill out those wheel arches very nicely. Now, looking here at the front fascia, you might be more accustomed to seeing a Range Rover with a very squared off nose, but as you can see, this one looks like it was designed in a wind tunnel. I think the front end of this Range Rover really makes it look like it's going quite fast, even while it's parked. Maybe you see that as well. But I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Those really thin headlights that carry quite a ways down the fender, both in perfect condition, with some beautiful LED tech in there that make even the running lights look like a styling element. You can see the beautiful grille finished in that same satin gray that we saw on the wheels, and that beautiful gray script across the nose with your Range Rover badge. Looking a little bit lower, you'll find a couple more of those really small bronze accents across these little fins you'll see on the outer portion of the bumper cover. And a bit lower, you have this nice aggressive piano black and gray front splitter. Give you another angle of the vehicle here. And now we'll make our way down the passenger side. Looking here at the wheels, again, absolutely gorgeous condition. And again, looking really close for any dings, dents, scratches, etc. As I make my way back past the rear door, it all presents beautifully. This car has really been well cared for. Final wheel here in the rear, fantastic condition as well. It also goes without saying the tires look like they're in great shape as well. Even some cool styling here on the roof. You have that full glass panel roof that we'll check out in the interior, and you have these functional air vents that feed air down below this rear spoiler. Very, very cool. And finally, we're here at the rear. You see that beautiful piano black center stripe, wearing the Range Rover badging. Taillights that mimic the styling of the front that we saw, that nice long stretched out style. I think this vehicle looks like you took a picture of a traditional big body Range Rover going about 120 miles an hour and then styled it to look like that picture. Everything just looks amazing. You can see the Velar script there in the same tone that we see the Range Rover. And then this badge here, the P380, actually refers to the powertrain in this particular Velar. You could get it with 3 different powertrains. You could have a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. You could have the smaller diesel, and then you can have the largest and most powerful, which is fitted to this one, which is the 380 horsepower V6, and we'll touch on that in just a few moments. But the first thing I'd like you to see is pushing that button reveals the door handle. You'll see the mirrors fold back out of place, and that reveals the absolutely stunning interior. Now, first thing we'll take a look at are the beautiful seats. You see black leather and some beautiful contrasted stitching all around. Some really nice suede accents here on the side. You'll see some little bit of matting down there on the suede on the outer bolster, which is to be expected. It does have the most use, but you can see even the passenger seat has held up very nicely over time. I'll make my way inside, where you find an absolutely stunning interior to match the outside. Looking here at the variety of materials and textures, it all just presents beautifully. I don't know of many other Range Rovers with such a wild interior, but let's fire it up. Key is in my pocket. You can see a beautiful digital display, something I don't often see in Range Rover models. No warnings or anything to be concerned with there. You see this display has fired up and aimed towards me to, optimal angle to stay out of the glare. If you see any flickering, that's only due to the camera. You also have a beautiful display just below it there. But looking at some of these materials here, of course the dashboard is in beautiful condition, no issues there. Looking one level lower, we find this beautiful textured material with a nice soft backing to it. It feels very nice to the touch. Has this diamond pattern all across the center band of the interior, and it presents beautifully all the way through. A little bit lower on the door cards, we have a beautiful gray wood grain finish, and then finally some piano black accents there around your switchgear, and that nice leather armrest. Now we have those same combinations of materials here around the steering wheel. You'll find beautiful solid leather on the outside and perforated leather on the inside, and that's divided by that beautiful chrome trim that you can see there. Now, cool thing with the display controls here on your left, as you can see, I have a full digital display. Here I can control on the left side the volume, and on the right side I can go forward or back on my media, my different songs, whatever it may be. But if I select that menu button and I open the menu, suddenly that controller switches to navigate the menu. And you can see if I hit full screen map, very similar to Audi's digital cockpit, you do have a full color display showing a full map, which is a nice feature to have. And then just as easily, I can go deselect that, back out, and then once I close this menu, I have that original switch pack that we started with. Of course, all of the other controls work perfectly and are in great shape. That was a small one, but there are many, many features you can explore. I love having a heated steering wheel as well, and that works beautifully. You also have gear selector paddles just there, but we'll touch more on the drivetrain in a minute. There's so much I could touch on this interior, but I'd like to be more brief, so let's check this out here in the center display. Beautiful high-definition reversing camera, as you would expect in a vehicle like this one. Go back to the home screen. You have a variety of different menus and options, as you would expect, navigation and stunning sound quality through this Meridian sound system. I neglected to mention before the beautiful design of these speaker grills all across all of the doors in the Velar. Looking a bit lower, you can control your seats, your climate controls, your drive modes, etc. through that beautiful display where you can see a Velar reflected just there. Another use, or another example of Land Rover having dual controls, are these climate knobs. I've mentioned this every time I see them in these cars. You can see I currently have the cooled seat on, as shown by those 2 dots. If I push that knob, I can activate the heated seat or the ventilated seat, and then by pushing it again, pardon me, then I can bring back the climate control. Really, really nice use, and a great way to change multiple settings and still have a nice clean display with only one controller. You can also see I can adjust the suspension height just there in the screen. There are so many features. I could go on forever. I highly encourage you to come check this vehicle out if you're at all interested, because you could have a field day playing with all the different features. One more thing I'd like to show you is revealing that gorgeous panoramic glass roof. I always like to show the action of stowing these covers away, because sometimes if you don't see it working, then you go see the vehicle, it folds up, it gets tangled up in itself. It's nice to see that working. But the next thing we're going to do is go under the hood and take a look at what powers the Range Rover Velar. I'll see you there. All right, so here under the hood of the Velar, we have a stunning engine bay in very nice condition. Taking a look at all the painted portions on those strut towers there. You can see the hardware presents largely very well. You see a little bit of wear on those bolts there on the outer portion, but for the most part, very, very clean here under the hood. All of your plastic panels present beautifully, and you can hear it idling very smoothly. Now, as I mentioned before, with that P380 badge on the rear, this is the most potent powertrain available with the Velar in the year 2018. Here we have the 3-liter V6 supercharged, producing around 380 horsepower. Very powerful. Even though this is a relatively large vehicle, the engine feels very appropriate, makes a great noise, and underneath, this vehicle is very similar to the Jaguar F-Pace, which is a beautiful and exhilarating sports SUV in its own right. And having the same powertrain, Range Rover went for a slightly more luxurious driving experience in this application, and I think it's the perfect balance. I always thought the F-Pace was a little bit too tight and rigid down the street, and a little jumpy with how they tuned the engine. I think this is absolutely perfect. You get all this power, a beautiful smooth transmission, and you're still going to get just about 25 mpg on the highway, which is an amazing figure for a sporty, modern performance powertrain. So next up, let's take a look here at the second row of seats. Need to reveal that door handle as we did before. Taking a look here at the second row of seating, we have that same beautiful combination of the perforated leather with that contrasted stitching and the beautiful suede accents on all of the bolsters. It looks absolutely fantastic. You have a couple of vents just there and plenty of power outlets, as well as heated seats controls that could be easily missed as they're quite hidden. You also have door cards, equally stunning to the ones we saw in the front. Absolutely not a dime spared anywhere in this interior. Now, sitting behind myself at 6'4", absolutely loads of knee room, plenty of headroom as well. And taking a look at the cabin, beautiful view. Absolutely stunning all the way through. Now, next up, let's take a look at the available cargo space here in the rear. One-touch operation is going to lift that tailgate. No hesitation there. We find I've deployed the privacy blind just here, but it can easily be stowed away without any problems. And here we have a beautiful, nice rubber mat protecting the carpet underneath. We have rubber mats for all 4 occupants as well, and plenty of space. The rear seats do recline and can fold ahead in a 60-40 split. And if I drop this down here, you'll see it closes just the same as it opened. And very quickly, I did forget to mention the small controller here in the second row of seating, where I can recline or send the seat upright. As you can see, that functions exactly as you would expect, which is a great feature to have for your second row of passengers. Just gonna push this button here. Pardon me. Push it on the key. Oh, it's because it's running. My apologies. I was trying to stow the door handle. Anyway, as we can see, absolutely stunning vehicle, very unique, and you don't see too many of these on the road, especially not in a spec this unique. But if you have any further questions, please reference the listing at alphacars.com, and there you'll find all of the relevant contact information and some absolutely gorgeous pictures. But thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you from AlphaCars.